Alright, what is up everyone? Hope you're doing well. Got another video for the Master League for you. This is a team that I used earlier this morning on stream and did well with it. And it's a core that I have used before, Rayquaza Gholdengo core. This time using Zacian as the safe swap though. So with Zacian as the safe swap, it's able to draw out the counters to Gholdengo. So you're able to bring out a Groudon, a Ho-Oh. As you can see in the battle right now, they bring out the Ho-Oh, usually assuming that Zacian's running Play Rough and Close Combat. But that's why we run this move set. We have Wild Charge Play Rough so that we can draw out the counters to Gholdengo and still hit back hard with super effective moves, with like a Wild Charge against a Ho-Oh or a Kyogre, or neutral, just strong neutral moves like Play Rough on another Fairy or on a Groudon or on a Giratina if it brings a Giratina out. So I go for breaking swipes here against the Xerneas. They know that I'm at enough energy to get to a Dragon Ascent, so they do shield, but I was off on my counts by one because I didn't see one of the Geomancy animations come through. So I thought I was going to be able to catch a Moonblast on Gholdengo, but they ended up knocking out my Rayquaza, and they stay in here though, which is interesting. And so I'm able to KO them with a Shadow Ball, and they have a Dialga in the back. And so this shows you just how powerful Gholdengo can be. So Gholdengo is kind of like the star of this video. I love the core of Ray Gholdengo. Zacian's a great safe swap. But Gholdengo is the star here. A lot of people, while I was streaming, were asking, how good is Gholdengo? Is it worth building? Should I build mine? Talk to people about whether or not they should build it for factions or Battle Frontier or the upcoming Zygarden battle system that's going to be coming out, or whether or not they should build it for GBL. And I have thoroughly enjoyed using mine in GBL. Mine is, it's not a hundo, actually. I think it's a 15, 12, 15 from a lucky trade. And so if I ever do get a hundo, either by catching or trading, I think it's worth building that. There are a few matchups that my IVs lose because I don't quite have the, the maximum amount of defense. But it's good enough for doing what it does in most of these battles. So against a Solgaleo, this is usually a good lead for this team. I shield an Iron Head. They're at an Iron Head, and I go for. I'm waiting till I get to Dragon Ascent to go throw a move, but they're not shielding at all, and so I know this next move. This Iron Head would knock me out, and I decided to just save all the energy that I had banked on Rayquaza, go for a Dragon Ascent here to get a shield, and then I want to align my Gholdengo to Primarina. A lot of times with Solgaleo leads, it's going to be fairies or dragons in the back, and so Gholdengo has a lot of play against the whole team. So it is a fairy and a dragon. They bring in their own Rayquaza here. By the way, I shift back and forth between saying Rayquaza and Rayquaza. I don't know why. I don't know which one's the proper pronunciation, and I don't even know which one I prefer. So you're going to hear both. They go for the Dragon Ascent, but I know that Dragon Ascent only does about 80%, and so I knew I could live it. And if I brought in my Zacian after a couple Dragon Tails, and that allowed me to win the match, knock the Rayquaza out with Zacian, and then get Gholdengo back on the Primarina. So Gholdengo really just does have so much play against the Master League meta. There's a lot of Pokemon that it just loses really hard to, right? But overall, in Master League, you have a lot of dragons, you have a lot of fairies, you have a lot of steel types. And Gholdengo can beat dragons, fairies, and steel types. So here in this battle, we safe swap to our Zacian, and they answer with a Metagross. But I mean, Zacian, even against a Metagross, I can get off 2 wild charges. If I would have waited a little bit before I threw the second wild charge, I could have gotten to 3 wild charges there. But I was so debuffed that the bullet punches took me out. So it's okay though. I bring in Gholdengo here, and I'm gonna try to just hex this thing all the way down, but they baited me with a Meteor Mash, so now they're at the EQ. And they bring in a Landorus. So I know that I can live a Stone Edge, but just barely. So I'm in the red. I get off a breaking swipe, and I don't know that I can farm them down with Dragon Tails before I get farmed down with Mud Shots. But I'm going to resist Superpower and Stone Edge here. So let's see what they decide to bring out. I think they bring out the Metagross here to try to just catch a blind throw of a charge move, but I try to just hex it down. They shield the first Shadow Ball. I get to the second. It's not going to be enough, though. And they're going to be able to get to a Dragon Ascent to knock me out before I can hex them down or get to another Shadow Ball. So GG, played that one well. Let's see what we go up against in the next battle. I believe this set was a 3-2. So went positive. And then the next set, I think, was a 4-1. So yeah, did really well with this team overall, and I really like using Zacian as the safe swap here. Its ability to draw out Gholdengo's counters is just awesome. I used to run this team with double steel backline, so I'd use Gholdengo as the safe swap and Metagross in the back. Also a very good team, but today, yeah, I went for the Zacian as the pivot, as the safe swap, and really liked it. Yeah, you see their Zacian is staying in here and going for double wild charges. So I want to just get some damage. I don't want that Zacian to come back end game with energy and health. I want to get rid of it from my Rayquaza. So I double shield and just farm the rest of the way down. And then I can go for double play roughs here against the Dialga. And they don't know my moves. I think I've only thrown play roughs, right, at this point. So they could think that I have close combat. So I get farmed all the way down, but now I can align my Gholdengo on Dialga, and they have no shields left, so I can focus blast them. But if I remember correctly, they have a Yveltal, yeah, and because I came into this a little bit late, they're going to outpace me to moves. The first Dark Pulse lands, and even after a debuff, the next Dark Pulse is going to KO. So I'm in a weird position here because they're going to knock my Rayquaza out. I have a bunch of energy on Gholdengo, but I'm not going to be at a point to where I should. If I could have undercharged, it's really tricky. If I could have undercharged the Shadow Ball and got a few more hexes, that was probably my win condition. But I risk, them getting to a Dark Pulse. So I didn't know how much Shadow Ball was going to do. But yeah, if I could have undercharged it, maybe just did a great, and then hexed them down before they got to a Dark Pulse, then I could have focus blasted the Dialga there and won the game. I also say Dialga sometimes and Dialga other times, so I don't know. I pronounce it differently. It is what it is, but yeah, that was a close one. I think that could have been winnable. It would have made this a 4-1 set, but tough call at the end there. Giratina leads are great. You just stay in here if they stay in. But they swap to a Dialga, so whenever they swap to Dialga, I have a note about this on the left. I always want to throw a breaking swipe first to get some damage or pull a shield and debuff them so that I can just guarantee that I win switch. Because if I go in with Zacian or Gholdengo and I play it wrong, they could flip it around on me, and I really don't want that to happen. So I go for a play rough first. They actually shield it, and so now I can go for double wild charges here. And this is actually really great because now I have shield advantage, and I maintained alignment, and they don't get barely any farm off me, right? They only get 2 Shadow Claws off me there. So it puts me in a really good position. I can shield this. They might go Ominous Wind here. Yeah, they do. But this breaking swipe is going to do a lot. It's going to debuff them, and then Gholdengo, just got to hope that Gholdengo can beat whatever's in the back, which we can. We get to Shadow Ball in 15 turns. Hex is 3 turns. You need 5 of them to reach Shadow Ball, and they need 20 turns to reach their Earthquake. So they need 10 bullet punches, 2-turn moves. So we're able to outpace them, win the game, and yeah, that's the first set. Went positive. Like I said, it could have been a 4-1. Had I played that 4th game a little better, but that's okay. We're going to jump into the next set, and this is the 4-1 set. I believe, where we really get to see Gholdengo just be awesome. So Dialga lead, I always go straight to Zacian, safe swap, and sometimes I shield this, sometimes I let it go. I believe I'm usually going to want to let it go and just save my shields for Gholdengo. And it's a Giratina, and I'm actually able to make it to 2 play roughs here. So this is, again, why this moveset is just awesome for this team. Play rough, wild charge. You can draw out the counters. Draw out the counters to Gholdengo and then hit hard against them and sometimes even flip the matchup. So I'm wanting to keep my Ray on Mewtwo and have Gholdengo for Dialga at this point. So they swap to Dialga, I swap right to Gholdengo, and they're going to be throwing Iron Head. They have 2 shields, so with just Iron Head and Dragon Breath damage, even though it's all resisted, they can just kind of like power through here. And so since I'm expecting that, I'm going to no-shield the next Iron Head and farm up a little bit extra and see if I can actually win this game. They go to Mewtwo, I swap out to Ray, and they're not at 2 moves. So I can actually shield this, Hex down, Focus Blast the Dialga with like 1 HP left. So here's a great example of just how Gholdengo is awesome. It has play against not only dragons, steels, and fairies, but also I'm resisting Psycho Cuts and Psy Strikes from Mewtwo while doing super effective Hexes and Shadow Balls. So it also is really great against Mewtwo in like an even shield, even energy matchup. Mewtwo can take that. If it's running Psy Strike Shadow Ball, then you're going to lose to Mewtwo just because they get to the moves way faster, especially if they bait with a Psy Strike once. But in a situation like that where I can come in, up some energy or up a shield or something like that, Gholdengo does really well. Similar with Giratina. Like in an even shield, even energy situation, Gholdengo loses to Giratina. But if you're up a shield or up energy, you can hit back hard against the Giratina as well, obviously with super effective Hexes and Shadow Balls. So yeah, Gholdengo, and just pretty solid. Groudon leads here, amazing. They safe swap to Giratina. And I don't really want to switch out of this, right? Giratina's good against my backline, as I was just saying. But what I can do is I can just stay in and go for breaking swipes and debuff them and still control the alignment of the game. You don't need full health against a Groudon to be able to beat it, right? Rayquaza walls Groudon pretty hard. So what I'll do is when they bring in Melmetal, I don't have close combat, but they don't know that. So I just bring in my Zacian here, and my goal is to get Ray back on the Groudon and then Gholdengo back on the Melmetal. Gholdengo hardwalls Melmetal unless they're running Thunderbolt, which like nobody runs Thunderbolt on their Melmetal. It's usually going to be Superpower and either Rock Slide, Double Iron Bash, or Flash Cannon, right? And so Gholdengo as a Steel type is going to resist all of those moves. So double resisting the Superpower from the Ghost type, and then the super effective fighting type against Steel, it makes it to where Gholdengo still just single resists Superpower. So yeah, there's nothing they can really do against me at that point. So Gholdengo is great, kind of hard counter to Melmetal. Okay, so for the next match, Dialga again, right to Zacian, and they actually swap to a Groudon right away. So again, this is perfect. This is Zacian getting rid of the Groudon to free up Gholdengo. And I'm not going to shield anything. I'm just going to go for my play rough, and I can either feign a wild charge if they let me, because they don't know I have close combat, or they just throw the fire punch and I can Dragon Tail them down. So either way, it works out. We don't really need to win that. It's fine getting just like a ton of energy here. Precipice Blades doesn't do a whole lot. And then I can swap right to my Gholdengo. And this is interesting, right? So Shadow Ball's doing a lot. They go for the shield here. And at this point, it's like if they wouldn't have baited me, if they would have went for the Shadow Ball, like maybe I could have gotten the other shield and then farmed down. But at this point, like there's no way I can really win this with their Dialga having that much health. So anyway, I'm just kind of throwing the game away at this point. I Breaking Swipe here, and I think I Dragon Ascent the Dialga. But yeah, they baited me with Ominous Wind, and they were able to get to 2 moves. So that's my one loss for this set. They played it really well. Had an answer for basically all my Pokemon. Dialga for Ray, Groudon for Zacian, and Tina for Gholdengo. So for this game, Mambo is really bad lead for us because it has play against my whole team. There's not a whole lot of Mamoswine in the meta, but it's a hard counter to my Rayquaza. It has play against my Zacian, especially because my Zacian is not running close combat. But I'm able to get to double Wild Charge against the Ho-Oh here. So again, another reason why we run this moveset. They don't know that I don't have close combat. They assume that I do, so they swap out of their Mamo. And I'm able to farm them down. I have a shield advantage here, and I need that shield for a high horsepower. High horsepower is going to one-shot me. Very strong stab, super effective move. And I think they were trying to catch a Focus Blast on the Mewtwo, but they're not able to catch it. I'm able to knock the Mewtwo out, and they throw high horsepower right away, which means they're dry on energy. And I believe 1 Breaking Swipe, 1 Dragon Tail will knock them out. So it worked out well. Mamo's tough. It's good against my whole team. With shields up, Gholdengo does well against Mamo. But with the 1 shield, 0 shield situation, not going to do as well. So thankfully it worked out, though. The Zacian moveset, them not knowing that we have Wild Charge play rough instead of close combat, helps out in that situation. So let's see what we have in the next matchup here. This is going to be Ray onto Ho-Oh. This is a great lead for us. We like Ho-Ohs in the lead. And they go to Xerneas. Now, here's what stinks. Even though I'm resisting Geomancy and Moonblast, Xerneas actually wins the 0 shield against Gholdengo. If they just go straight Moonblast here, they're going to win. Now, I don't know. I'll need to check in PvPoke. Like, if I were to have a Hundo, or like a Hundo Best Buddy, if I can actually win the 0 shield. So all they do is they give up a shield there, and they're able to flip the game around. But it ends up being okay, again, because I'm running Wild Charge Zacian, and because I'm up a shield, I'm not in a horrible position here. So I can shield 1 move, see if it's Sacred Fire or Brave Bird. It's Sacred Fire. So I'll do 2 quick attacks and throw a Wild Charge here. And then I go for the farm down, try to snipe the Ho with my Ray, but they bank a Brave Bird and swap out to their Dialga. But the great thing is, because I have this shield, they have to throw energy if they want to knock me out, and I can just let it go. Actually, I decide to shield and go for 1 Dragon Tail. If they would have thrown their Brave Bird and knocked me out, I could have quick attacked them down. So I had options. I had like 3 different win conditions there of how I could have played that. But yeah, overall, loved this team. Went 3-2, 4-1 in these 2 sets. I believe I used this team. I think I had a negative set afterward and then another positive set. Overall positive day with this team, though. And yeah, just a great example of why Gholdengo, I would say, is worth it. And this is a great team to run Gholdengo on. I think Gholdengo can do well in the lead, but I like it better in the back as a closer or a hard answer to like Lugia safe swaps, or being able to throw a Breaking Swipe against a Dialga and then bring Gholdengo in. There's a lot of options to play with this team. And as a closer, I think Gholdengo is very powerful. Again, you beat steels, you beat dragons, you beat fairies in a variety of different shield scenarios and situations. Plus, it can hit hard against a Mewtwo and a Tina and land neutral damage against like a Kyogre and a Ho-Oh with Hexes and Shadow Balls. So even though it doesn't beat Kyogre, doesn't beat Ho-Oh, technically doesn't beat Giratina, you can still hit hard against all these Pokemon, as well as being able to, Focus Blast a Dialga. So y'all let me know what you think. If you think Gholdengo is worth it, let me know what you think of the team, the battles, and y'all be blessed. Have a great day.